Well, Claire Fox with me now. And Claire, you say the decision to cancel this movie shows the creep of extra parliamentary blasphemy law is now censoring the arts.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's most frightening. What's happened is, effectively, a group of people have been able to stop a whole cinema chain, and I believe there's a second cinema chain that have just enhanced that they're also not showing the film, being able to stop the showing of a film. That is like the Board of British Censors, on the basis that it's religiously offensive. And you have to consider that the language that we heard from the second person, of course, was very threatening, but the general discussion around this is that this film is offensive, it's disturbing, and where have we all heard that conversation before, Dan? You know, it didn't come out of the Quran, it came out of campus culture, the whole cancel culture discussions that we've had around the issue of trans rights that I know that you've discussed a lot on the show. So what you've got here is a particular group using the mood of censoriousness around cancel culture to ensure that basically you can't blaspheme, according to them.
Do you blame Cineworld for giving in? Because they have said it's not about cancel culture, it's about the fact that we can't protect our staff from threats from the likes of that bloke. And actually, should the police be stepping up their action in order to make it safe for Cineworld to show the movie?
Well, that's obviously one aspect of it, because it's fairly obviously an intimidatory atmosphere, and you could say that somebody should step in. And you've mentioned the police. But I do want to say that if you'd have actually shown the rest of the interview with that cinema manager, he actually said, we are a community cinema and we don't want to offend the sensitivities of local people. So I do blame Cineworld in that instance, because, you know, they're playing to this idea that, oh, some audiences don't like this and have said that they don't like it, and so we won't show it. Now, can you imagine a situation, think of it, where anybody can say, I've watched that film, I find it offensive, it offends my religion or my beliefs on this or my beliefs on that. You get your mates together, you go and show outside the cinema, and you've effectively got mob rule when it comes to artistic freedom. That would be a catastrophe if it were expanded, and of course it sets a precedent. And on precedents, I think the fact that it was never properly dealt with, that teacher in Batley is still in hiding, frightened for his life, never returned to the school. The head teacher effectively threw him under the bus, as it were. So you say, well, there's a group of people outside demanding a teacher is dealt with, let's blame them. But you can also say, why did the educational establishment allow that to happen? Why did the head teacher allow it to happen? And what's more important, why didn't the Department for Education in that instance, and now the DCMS when it comes to the arts, why aren't they all over these screens? Shouldn't be some minor backbench in the House of Lords like me having this conversation with you. It should be every politician from every party saying this is not on, we're not having this. We are a free society and we should be able to see what films we're able to see and not succumbing to this. This has got the added dimension, of course, that you know that if you get involved in this discussion, there's always the danger, and people are frightened that they'll be accused of Islamophobia, just like people avoid saying a woman is a biological woman because they're frightened of being accused of transphobia. This way that there's a threat, not of physical violence, but of being labelled a bigot if you actually stand up for free speech, I think is what we need to actually really confront and make sure that we become proper champions of free speech. But I'm shocked at how few people in the establishment, as it were, are making a big issue of this.